Hey, what's going on, good people? It is 8 o'clock on the dot. We not in no drop tops, but we here. And we would love to welcome you on in to this here Scoop Show. I am Q Willis, and to my left is my good brother Winfred Burns, and we are your conversation connoisseurs this evening. And we are so glad that you are here with us. Go ahead and get comfortable as Win and I hit our good shares and bring the people on into the party. Uh, while you're here and getting comfortable, getting charged up and getting your sips in and things. Lotion up them swipe fingers for this evening because we want you present and accounted for in our comment section tonight. All right, we've got some good topics that we want to get into and we need you here and tapped in. All right. And to do that, to get warmed up on this evening, go ahead and drop your city and state. Where are you tuning in from tonight? Let us know. Go ahead and just drop it real quick, like drop that city and state for us. And while you are getting comfortable there, also move on over to the left, and hit that good old share button and let your people and them know where you will be hanging out for the next few little minutes. All right. And invite them on into the room. Where is my note with my stuff? Listen, I'm gonna have to make this another color. I have to work way too hard for this every week now. I don't know what this is. The sink ain't sinking. But we gonna get it together. Um, so yes, go ahead, hit that share button, let the people know where you are and where you're gonna hang out, and then get comfortable. All right. Don't relax until we get into these good topics. Cause I got some stuff that I need to tell you about what could happen because life be life and we are not exempt. Okay, during our time slot. We are not exempt. So we ready though. We ready. We stay ready so we don't have to get ready. And
Right.
for that, we know you might have to go, you might have to shake the spot real quick. Some things might happen and you might have to leave us. We understand. All right. So go ahead, get your swiping ready. All right. For this here image right here, we invite you to tap in with us on all of our social media channels and handles and all of the good things. We are out here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and SoundCloud. Okay. And SoundCloud. When you can't watch us, you can listen. All right. Because, that's we talking that good talk, so we want you to listen in. So you can hit all of the bells and whistles and things by following us on YouTube at The Scoop Show, on Facebook at Real Scoop Show, on Instagram at The Scoop Radio Show, and on SoundCloud, hey SoundCloud, at The Scoop Show. All right, so go ahead, tap in with us, never miss a show, and especially on Facebook and YouTube, that's where you can catch them replays, and on Instagram and Facebook is where that good conversation happens. All right, that is where the party never stops. All right, we always got something to say on Facebook, so be sure and follow us on all of those locations, and also tap in with us on our personal pages, especially here on Facebook. I don't be on Instagram. I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, I ain't posted
You don't.
in a minute. So I like words. Words are my jam. So Facebook is where I am. You can follow me, Keila Willis, Quilla Willis, and our good brother Winfred Burns the second. Deuce is where you gonna that's how you get to your boy. So go ahead and tap in with us and look out for our nifty little image that is straight out of the inbox or our hashtag
Yes.
SOTI. Look, you popped it up right on time. SOTI. My brain is not capable of that conversion today, so I appreciate the visual. So whenever you see straight out of the inbox or that good old hashtag SOTI, you want to tap in because that conversation is one we are cordially inviting you to. Okay, those are the ones where your people, them, go ahead and tap in with us. They slide in our DMs and hit us with the links. They tag us onto the posts and say, hey, this here is something we need to talk about. Okay. So we go ahead and hit that share on our pages and the people get to chatting about it. And if we get the convo really going, that's how we create this here agenda. Okay. So it's an effort. We are collective here at the Scoop. All right. And we appreciate your efforts in making sure that we stay tapped in to these internet streets. Okay, so go ahead and slide in our DMs with those links. Be sure and hit us with those tags so we don't miss a thing. And we can talk about it right here. All right, we can do it how we do it on the scoop. All right, think that's it. That it?
Got it. You got it.
All right, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm glad it's Tuesday. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
What about you?
Good. It is a marathon week for me, and it is Tuesday. Let's put it that way. I feel in the back of my head, I've been hearing stick all day. Like, okay, and we're on to the next one. Like that is, and that will be life for the next, for sure, foreseeable 8 to 12 weeks or so.
New project stuff or just?
Yeah, I've got corporate moment. So I've got 2 projects that have actually gone live this week, and then I am now our portfolio manager for a group of projects within the technology space. So while I'm not managing all of these projects, I am responsible for reports and status updates and some oversight, so to speak, of all of the projects within a certain portfolio, which is now made me an octopus. So in so many ways, you got to be a lot of places, do a lot of things. I'm not responsible for the actual work so much as I used to be, but it's definitely the coordination of people responsible for work, and that has required lots of FaceTime for me.
You got it.
I'm peopling at a high degree right now, and you know how that goes for me. It's like, you see, I have my deadline for at least the next 8 to 12, so I'm giving myself the milestones.
Listen, I hear you.
Those mental milestones are important for a chick like me. I need those.
Yeah, this is. I said Sunday. This is the super. These like next 2 weeks for us are Super Bowl. This is like playoff Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Easter is.
Yes.
There's the Super Bowl.
No time. No time. Yes.
That'd be tight.
Yes. You about to hit a couple. Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Like y'all about to.
Palm Sunday, Easter. Then you got, like you said, no, it gets worse. Watch this. Palm Sunday, Easter. Then nothing for a couple of weeks, and then you go. So May is every week.
Mm-hmm.
It's, Communion, Mother's Day, Graduation Sunday, Pentecost.
Oh, back to back. Yeah, I didn't know that.
And then something else, and then Father's Day, and then yeah.
May the force be with you, sir.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna keep you prayed up and keep you lifted. I'm gonna keep you lifted. You keep me lifted, and we gonna just keep rising.
We'll be all right. It's 8 to 12 weeks.
It's go time, but it's exciting. I'm blessed to a year in be given this. Be given this.
It's what you work for, though. So
yeah, I'm gonna do what I do. Mm-hmm.
And do you ever sit back and think you were just? I remember when we first met, we were talking about what they was doing at I see the name of the place the place you used to work at, the AAA. I was gonna say that at AAA, and how they were and then that's all.
I almost didn't take this position. You remember that? Because it started as a contractor. I was literally not gonna take it. So yeah.
That's dope. So yeah,
step out, do what you know you need to do. Go to the big building, sis. Go to the big building, sis. Yeah. And I've learned a lot about me. This position, this positioning, because I've held a few positions, but this positioning has taught me a lot about me. The step out on faith, the get in the room, the say the thing. It has been very transformative for me.
Mm-hmm.
I came in with a lot of imposter syndrome, no degree. I don't know these people like this. You know what I mean? Like I had I knew something, but I didn't know what I like. Right. And for people to be like, no, you got it. Come on. Yeah. We see it. Come on. We just
Yeah.
Come on, sis. And I've been blessed to be in the rooms with some people that have seen in me what I didn't and
Mm-hmm.
have forced me to look in the mirror and be like, girl, come on. And it's
In the
been,
room. Come on. You could
yeah, come on now. Yeah. Here's your seat. Like, you know. So yeah,
you
I'm
done
I'm
well.
here for it.
You
I
done
receive it and I'm gonna show up. Bring somebody with me.
well. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to jump into these
Let's do
topics?
it. Let's do it.
All right. First up, we saw this one pop up this weekend. A
Here we
new
go.
one. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Right.
Uh, so Jonathan Majors, who starred most recently in
Mhm.
Creed 3, is now facing assault and harassment charges. So there was a incident over the weekend where he reported that allegedly him and his girlfriend got into an altercation, and initially it was reported that he assaulted her
Mhm.
and was harassing her. It looks like recently there's the video has been released, and now between
Oh,
video,
has it?
yeah, the video was shown somewhere. The video, and then the lawyer also was saying like he's the victim. He pretty much is the
Mhm.
victim here. He is
Mhm.
not can do this, and so now there's conflicting stories. And then I saw one thing where other people was like, "I knew it," and it was just a whole lot of mess. So yeah, so we of course this is still very early on in this process for him, but yeah, now they're saying that the video shows that he did not that he was not the aggressor.
Okay.
It was her, but they don't. Again, they're still
Mhm.
press charges against him. They
Yeah.
haven't dropped any charges, last I heard. So, what's your thoughts?
So, couple things. When I saw this, I thought, yeah, that tracks. Meaning, I expected there to be something coming about Jonathan Majors soon, simply because of all of the positive attention that he's been receiving so quickly from all sides, and how he's appeared to have this bubble around him where he is not receiving any of the negativity. Even from like us, because which is another part. That's one of them, probably 3 or 4 point. But even from us, where just a few weeks ago we were picking him apart
Mm-hmm.
from based on the cover. You know
Cover.
what I'm saying? And like that, he was unfazed, kept showing up, kept killing it. Kept doing what he's doing. He collecting awards. He ain't got time to comment on the BS. So I felt this coming because of we've seen this happen before. So when it broke, I thought, okay, all
Here we
right, yeah, here we go. So as I dug a little, not it wasn't a whole lot to dig into because again it just happened. But as you start to go into different places to see what's trending and what people are saying, there were people who sounded very bandwagony. Well, you know how they do, da 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 da. But then there were other people who were like, I really hope this is not true. But honestly, when he first, like back in Lovecraft Country times, there were people on Twitter who were mentioning his past and some of his possible interactions with people where they were saying he might not be, he may be more aggressive. He may have more of aggressive personality or has had not so positive experiences with people. Just be aware. So, but nobody really paid much attention to it because again, Star is rising. It's considered
Mm-hmm.
hate, we gonna attack the black man, all those things. So it never really got any traction. So now that we got this breaking news thing, everyone is now those conversations are research. I told y'all, did y'all remember when I said people rehashing tweets and when they was talking about it and everybody was no, no, no. So that has all been interesting too because I honestly didn't hear that. I'm also not on Twitter like that. I'm not on Twitter, so I don't go deep into the black Twitter, the threads, and I don't know nothing about that. So that was interesting to me. But when I'm seeing threads with the timestamps and dates of back in the day and people talking, I'm like, interesting. So I'm not gonna speak one way or the other. I really hope this is not true. Like, I really hope this did not happen. It's all a crazy, wonky Hollywood misunderstanding, and it comes out and be what it is. You know, it all goes away. The fact that she recanted and all this doesn't sway me one way or the other at this moment, because we've seen actual true victims recant. We know it happens.
Sure.
He's influential. He's got a lot of money. He is the Jonathan Majors right now. That her recanting, okay, that's par for the course. Like, I expect that, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, I'd like to see the video. I'd like to see the images. I'd like to see, you know, hear some of these statements and things. I'd like to know more information. We don't know enough, but I really, really, really hope this is not true. I don't want this guy to be one of those guys. I don't want that.
At this point, to your point, we haven't seen anything. So I agree. Even if it is true, even if it did happen, I don't want this. I wouldn't want this to be the end of his opportunity.
No.
So again, I don't know what happened. We don't know enough yet. I've heard people even talking, saying that, you know, the recanting was, you know, they done paid her off, and so now it's like we don't know.
We don't know. Yeah.
If there's a video, let's make the video public. So everybody sees the video, then we can make our judgment at that point. But again, even if it is true, I would hope that we still say this is a 33-year-old young man who didn't know how to handle an argument with his girlfriend. Let's get him some help, and so we can move on.
Yeah, I don't want him canceled, and I don't know if I'm gonna call 33 a young man. He's a 33-year-old. That's a grown ass man.
I'm not saying he's not a grown. He's still young.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying there's a level of accountability, because he also is aware of the star power that he's holding right now too. So if it is true, it's one of those things. Like, I want him held accountable for it if it is true. But no, I don't want his career canceled.
I'm not against that. I'm with you. I'm not against holding him accountable. I'm more so thinking when I say young man, I mean young in terms of this level of influence.
Oh, yeah. He's new. This is new. Yeah.
You're still young in that mindset, because I mean, you know, it's one thing to have an altercation when nobody knows who you are. You just they just didn't do it. Let me keep minding my business. Whereas, you know, because not, but if it's
what?
Major.
I'm sorry, bro, but I was like, let me go back to my agenda. What we miss?
Lord help.
My pre-show prep was not prepped for that. So, nah, bro, not yet. Not yet.
Lord help my brother. Help my brother, Lord.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah. Ooh, Jesus. Oh my God. Help my friends, Lord. Help my friends, Lord.
Yeah, this can't be the end for Jonathan, though. I don't want it to be the end. And this is a lot of influence. It is a lot coming at one time. So I can imagine for his people, you know, and again, what I was saying at the top, like, he's been kind of above all of the BS here recently. You can't be above this. You have to speak to it. You're going to have to talk about it. You're going to have to do the whole trend of shame for a minute, and then it's going to hopefully be the whole, you know, the resurrection of the star again. And, you know, we're going yay, Jonathan, we told y'all, like, we're gonna have to do the pendulum gonna do what it does. Yeah. But yeah, this is
he can go record a gospel album or something. Unless they always do.
He's got a couple movies slated that they not giving him shabby roles, so they'll just roll up, they'll just move up. They either push back or move up, depending on how this fleshes out. Whatever next big thing is coming, and then we'll forget about it, like we always do. We'll move on.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it as things happen. Like I said, if once it's fully released, we'll definitely see what we can see what comes out.
Mhm.
Of course, you know the I don't know if you saw the not the tell, but the talking about this is what you get. Stay with the sisters, and you ain't got to. I,
Yeah.
I
This ain't our fight. In a lot of ways, it ain't. Like the whole super cap, that ain't.
said, hey, I was telling somebody earlier. I said, now I will say this. I said, if this would have been a sister, I said most likely. I said it probably might not have got reported. I said, but he might have got beat up too.
Yeah,
So
it wouldn't have ended like it ended. It wouldn't have been no damsel in distress type of situation. We see what. Listen,
I said,
I was about
she
to bring up
fought him.
another controversial couple, but it wasn't a just get your ass beat situation. Like,
She'd have fought him.
okay.
I said she'd have fought him and probably pulled the switchblade on him or something. But it, mm-mm. He'd be walking around talking about some. I love black women.
But I haven't, even with him dating white women and having, because they were even talking about he's got a mixed bag, all of that, I still have yet to see Jonathan Majors. Has he talked negatively about black women in any way? Like, why he, like, none of that? So, like, for me, that whole that's not our fight. I'm not one of those black women who feel that all black men need to be with only black women and all that other stuff. Like, I'm not finna feel one way or another about a black man of status or nah who chooses to partner with someone who's not black. My only issue with the whole thing ever is when you talk down on black women because based on your experience. I'm not going black because of da 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 da. Miss me about all that. Do what you do, but you ain't got to lump everybody. You ain't got to general, like all of that is not necessary. So for me, I'm not pulling my cape out because I don't know what the hell happened. It doesn't have anything to do with who he lays with at the end of the night. Like, make good movies, bro. Don't be out here doing wild stuff like this, but I don't care. It ain't gonna be me. I'm not like, so what really at the end of the day, like, how much investment can I really have if he ain't talking crazy about us? He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's unproblematic as far as that. So why am I gonna not support him simply because, or not think he gets his due because he's decided to partner with a white woman?
No, I'm not. I wouldn't say that, but I would say that again, for the sake of where we are, and I've said this multiple times on this show, I think that as a black man, you should prefer. Now, it's one thing if you meet somebody you fall in love. I'm not tripping about that.
Yeah.
But to not prefer, because again, ain't nothing more beautiful ever created than the Lord made when He made y'all black women. So
yeah.
I just prefer.
Just
prefer.
And a preference is one thing. How you go about selecting your, you know what I mean? But I agree. That's my only thing. It's the beating of the chest about how black women ain't this and ain't that, and that's why I'm going to do.
I don't understand.
Something else.
Not prefer a black woman. Lord help, God, shut up. I'm sorry. Let me stop.
Each their own. Love you, honey.
Yes. All right. Let's move on. Something a little more sad. All right. So yesterday we had and this is crazy here. We had our 129th mass shooting in the United States in 2023. 129 in Nashville, where a person walked into a Christian private school and shot and killed 3 students and the 3 teachers, and then eventually was killed by the police. 129 in 2023, and we are only going into the 4th month.
We haven't even had 100 days. Yeah, we haven't had 100 days.
Whew.
And here we are. We got 29 more deaths than we got damn days.
29 shootings, not even shootings. Yeah, now I ain't gonna count the deaths.
Yeah.
So I am, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And also, we haven't even talked, like, have 129 mass shootings made it across your headlines? Have you heard about 129?
Absolutely not.
Mm-mm. Just, refresh your screen, bro. Move our pictures around or something because you're frozen on here. But yeah, you know what I mean. So that also speaks to the desensitization of us, um, the deepening of the desensitization of us as a country to the fact that we're not even talking about it no more.
No.
You know what I mean? We're not. Hey, bro. You know, I almost spoke you up just a minute ago when Wes was in here talking crazy. I said all I need is KG in here. I swear I was about to say, now where's KG with the backup? What's good, bro? We're glad you're here. But yeah, this craziness, and this person is reported to have been a student at the school.
Student. Yeah, we to the former student.
And this is a grown person. So I'm thinking to myself, what happened that has brought you back at almost 30 years old to your Christian private elementary school?
Yeah, that's someone like, what did they? Somebody do something? Were you looking for a person? Because
there's supposedly a manifesto that was left.
Oh, I didn't say okay.
But we haven't. You know, they ain't gonna go deep into. We ain't. You know, it'll be a month before we find out any of the details of it, and if it gets too crazy and too deep, we ain't gonna hear that either. But
just one.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Wes. Details matter. But yeah, she supposedly he supposedly had a manifesto. They found additional weapons and bullets back at the home, and I think there were additional weapons found on them as well. I'm not for sure on that last part, but I do know that there were additional weapons and ammo and all that found back at the home. So yeah, these are always crazy. Like it's always like it's like what clicks, you know what I mean? It's just
I don't know. I don't know. I read that it was a former student that they think was bullied and came back. So he's saying go after parents, but this person, we can't go after their parents. The parents, like in this instance, this person is
an adult,
mid-20s,
yeah,
like mid to late 20s. So I mean that's too late to go after the parents at that point. But I think I read something too about there was no background check or something done when they purchased the vehicle or purchased
the weapon.
Mm-hmm. And so, you know, of course, now we're going to hear the usual, you know, no guns, more guns, right people, no guns, right people have guns. We're going to have that for a couple of days and we're going to go back right. We're going to have the 130th school shooting here probably in the next couple of days. So I don't know.
I'm so tired of I don't understand why this point can't be correct and this point can't also be correct, and we can't come to some balance of adjustments on both sides. That is like a truly what a compromise is, because it goes without saying that there are hella guns available, period. And then it does go without saying that we have a for real lack of resources, education, access, all of those things, all those buzzwords surrounding mental health and being able to truly take care of people and identify who is safe to be able to execute on all of the rights, responsibilities, and all of that other stuff that the other side talks about. It's our rights, it's our responsibility, it's our all, which I believe in as well. I have a weapon, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not against guns, like, at all. I like safety, and I think anyone who is a gun owner also promotes safety. I don't want a bunch of folks out here who don't know what they doing, just running footloose and fancy for. That's crazy, you know what I mean? And anyone who actually knows what they're doing and cares about being able to continue to carry their weapon understands that. So that's not the debate, I don't think. And I think when we muddy it and make it the debate, it's this or that, is why we don't have any progress at this point. And I don't understand why we're still having that. Is my main frustration. Why are we still debating this or that? It should be how much of this, how much of that, what parts of this or that are we going to add to it so that we can create a solution? That is what I think people want. And I don't understand why we keep debating that. Like, I don't even, that's not it.
That's what they want to debate.
Yeah. And
I think what it is in this instance, we want to debate that so that we can get tired of the same debate and stop debating it.
yes.
Like, stop the debate altogether, because it's always the extremes. You're presenting both extremes. And it's like, and really, like you said, no sensible person wants either of those extremes. I think most sensible people are like, oh yeah, it makes sense to make sure that the person who is buying a gun doesn't have a mental handicap or is not. Yeah, I think people are fine with it. I think it's the idea that then we take it to the no. Let's not just say that. Let's say, but you're not gonna make it hard. You're not gonna make it hard for me to buy. Nobody said that unless you're one of those people who have some kind of mental handicap.
I was approved for my weapon in 7 minutes.
Yeah,
7.
Just run the thing, run the check.
Yeah, dude hadn't even got it back from the back good before it was back. Oh yeah, she good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like a super deep check that even happens at this point, which could also be a problem. Maybe it should have taken 15. You know what I mean? That was also kind of concerning to me. Like, I know I'm good. I'm not out here committing crimes or whatever, but 7 minutes is real quick. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if there's a national system that works, that takes 7 minutes, fine.
Yeah.
But make sure it's thorough. Like, to your point, make sure it's a thorough system. And again, like, KG said, don't take my guns. And again, nobody wants to do that.
Nobody is trying.
Let me say that. I don't. Most people are. There are people who would say take the guns, but I think most people are saying just make sure that there is something happening or something in place that we can make sure that the people who are mentally ill, the people who are, whatever, we can eliminate some of that, because even still, that's not going to get everybody.
No, people just randomly snap. Like, people have moments. Like, the fact that we have weapons the way that we do immersed into our society is something to be aware of. It is a level of awareness that we need to be consistently planning for new levels of ways to protect everyone. Everyone is not comfortable with weapons. Everyone is not educated about weapons. Everyone does not want us to be dealing with everything, this whole conceal and carry and all of that. Everywhere isn't built like that. You know what I mean? I've been listening to some podcasts of folks from places like New York who we assume are out here on some ride or die, shoot 'em up, bang, bang all the time. Everybody got guns. And that's not really how it goes. The whole, they've managed to make it so guns are not the thing. You ain't finna roll into a Walmart to see folks packing. Like, that doesn't happen. And it was a conversation that I was recently listening to about how when the basketball player Jay Moran or whatever, John Moran, yeah, when he got with the whole showing of the guns and all that, and how that strip club, one of the podcasters, she had actually gone to that actual strip club and everybody had guns, but they were like checking their guns in before they went into the strip club. And this is again in Atlanta, the South. We got guns everywhere. That's what we do. It ain't nothing weird. Everybody got them. Nobody's even batting an eye. But them going into that space where it's not normal where they're from, and it wasn't the knowing that, oh, the guns are here, I'm going into the club where there aren't any. It was the fact that when we leave, they're all going to get these weapons back. So whatever happens in here could possibly happen out there. You know what I mean? And what's to keep us safe there? So it's the whole idea of all of these people what happens if one gets in? You know what I mean? So it's the whole idea that people who are comfortable, everybody's got to be comfortable. We've got to prepare for those who are the least capable of protecting themselves. Absolutely. And our current laws, restrictions, ordinances, whatever you want to call it, are not in alignment with protecting those people who are at least able to take care of themselves.
Okay, if that's what you're going to do, then you need to provide another form of protection for, in this instance, for those children. So if you're going to have that, then why not provide the funding for all of your exits to be covered by somebody who can legally have a weapon, so that way in the instance of this you reduce this. You know what I mean? Like, you're not protect on okay, if you don't want to take them, do something else that's going to allow, because at least then you're providing a level of a better level of protection.
Oklahoma just found $630 million to push forward this whole private homeschool bill to allow families who couldn't afford private schooling for their children to be able to now get up to $7,500, I think, per child if they decide to enroll them in private school, and up to $1,000 per household if you do private school. I mean, homeschool.
$7,500 a semester?
A year. Tax credits. $630 million.
How much is, well, first of all, how much is private school? Because $7,500 don't seem like a lot for a tax credit for private school. We're gonna get to the 630 in a minute, but I'm just saying that seems
no, like, that I'm point. So like
private school is like $10,000-$20,000 a year. So $20,000 you get, but anyway.
So now this credit, this bill is supposed to magically make it so these underprivileged households who desire to send their babies to private school can now afford to do that. But this state where our public schools are like 49, the lower the low, we ain't been able to pay teachers. They ain't got printer paper. They don't have none of the stuff they supposed to have. But we could come up with $630 million to now shuffle these kids around, to now everybody got to go and rush into these private schools and do all of this other stuff because they're getting these tax credits and all of this other stuff. You can't tell me that $630 million couldn't have been to take care to actually equip truly, because there's still schools in Oklahoma City right now who don't have the buzz to get in. They don't have the vestibules that allow a space to lock you in before you actually get into the kids. There are certain schools you can still roam in through the side gate, through the side door, come in through this and that. We don't know who you coming in and what. There aren't systems in place to keep the kids safe.
Where did this money come from?
Where they get all the other magic money that Oklahoma comes up with. I can't speak for other states, but we got magic money that shows up. When Stitt and his crew decides we got money, they come up with magic money for this. Because where the hell did we get $630 million for school? Anything when these kids been marching, these teachers been marching, protesting, crying, begging, GoFunding me, and fish frying, and car washing, and Ubering, and checking groceries, and all of this. Where did we get $630 million from?
Yeah, it's federal money or something. But now I got to go look too. That doesn't make sense.
So yeah, when we talk about protecting the babies, if we wanted to protect the babies, that's what we would do. That's what we would do. We don't want to protect the baby. So I don't want to, that ain't even what it's about at this point. We need to grow up, be adults, and figure it out. Because this is stupid. Yeah. More mass shootings than actual days in the damn year. That's crazy. We've had this conversation here in this space. I don't know how many times. It's crazy. Woo. Yeah.
It's at $5,000 a year per child for private school tuition and $25 for homeschool students.
That's changed. It's $75. They did some finagling when it moved from I think the Senate to the House, because this morning on the news they said they've adjusted the increments, and it's now $7,500 per child for choosing private school and $1,000 per household for homeschooling. And the people were mad because they adjusted it from the $25 to the $1,000 for the homeschool and upped it for the private school.
I'll have to check that.
And I thought, don't you still have to apply for private schools? Don't they like their money on time? Like, write my check today and you can come tomorrow type things? How's all this voucher system finna work? Or tax credit or whatever it is? Where the money's supposed to come from on day one?
Right.
For the babies to be enrolled. Yeah. And does it keep them enrolled?
We're gonna have to. I'm gonna listen. Okay.
I thought that was one of the perks of being private. You get to pick and choose who get to stay and who get to play and who get to do all the things. If the check don't clear, then we got a whole other conversation that we can have. And now we gotta wait for credits.
Well, I mean, that's the same thing you do at the college level too, though. So it's probably the same process. They just credit it to your account since it's coming from. But no. These are tax credits, so the parent still has to pay up front.
So we about to flood the private schools with 49th percentile level students.
They're not going.
The
They're not
private
gonna
schools gonna be happy about that.
They're not going to be able to anyway. It don't matter. This is not. They're not giving them money. They're giving a tax credit. So that's just the offset of your income. So instead of you reporting that you make 50,000, you reporting you making 45,000. So it's just the offset. That's not money in your pocket.
So why are we even allowing
them parents ain't about to do that?
But we asking as people to end up committing some type of fraud by saying they is and they ain't and all that other stuff. Some folks about to be in trouble is what I see.
Yeah, it's not.
Is what I see.
Not about that.
But the mere conversation that we're having that even entertains the fact that we're going to put that much money to the side, knowing that it's still a deficit where these kids are left out here vulnerable, is my whole point. Because I know we was talking about the mass shooting things, and I'm the one who brought this up. But like, our priorities are not really in alignment with the stuff that we're saying. Like, it's just not.
Yeah.
If we wanted to, we would.
Large all black militia, 350 men across 42 states, and we would love to protect the kids with that money. So, like you say, it's a tax credit, so that's a little different. But anyway, keep it moving. Anything else on that? All right. So this next one is a question. The question is, what ways do you avoid intimacy? What ways do you avoid intimacy? So here's the background on that one. The little background. First of all, this one and the next one are both memes that I found, and this particular one gave a list. Like it was a list of things that people use to that they said that they avoid things that they avoid. See, work, workaholic. They do other stuff, and I wondered what other things a person would use. Like what would a person say they do to avoid intimacy? And so that's what this question came from. I'm trying to find it so I could
give us the list.
Give you the list. Here it is. Ways you may be avoiding intimacy. You avoid difficult conversations. You assume that others should know your thoughts, feelings, and needs. You struggle with being vulnerable. You assume what they think and want. You always want to please others. You don't share your feelings and thoughts. You're always the strong one. You don't have healthy boundaries. You focus on the needs of others rather than your own. You assume you know everything about them. You don't make the effort to really get to know them. And you tend to hold back important parts of your life and personality.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say I wrote the list, but I mean, I'm on there. Like, damn. You could have slid me that in the inbox and gave me a heads up that was gonna stomp down my street like that. Like, I'm sitting here like,
ooh,
there's more.
Take all the bullets. Ooh.
Yeah, like sheesh. I wasn't ready. Yeah. But when I hear some of those things, the list is accurate. Those are acts of intimacy. They help build relationship with whomever. Not always even we very often confuse intimacy with only romantic relationships, but relationships in general, like with our loved ones, require different levels, of intimacy and vulnerability. Like, it's important. So like the did you see this one about the milk? Yeah, we're definitely talking about something else, bro. But the avoiding confrontation, the being the strong friend, the boundary question. There are times, I'm good for a shutdown. if I haven't finished working it through, if I'm still having that internal, what have I done? What could I have done better? What should I have said? Because I do that. I got to go through all of the ways that I could have come at this differently, better, to get a different reaction, to avoid whatever got me here before I'm going to bring it to you. So, like, period. That's just how I roll. So there's a withdrawal that happens that I've learned through time that could very well be some real space to gain understanding and clarity if I'm able to share that non-worked through feeling. You know what I mean? Because once I figure it out, you know, I can come with a level of confidence to a conversation and, well, I feel it is, you know, but if I don't, if I'm just stuck, if I'm frustrated or confused or hurt or whatever in this moment, because this has given me one of those, you know, and my minute is now being able to be shared with you, and we're working through that together. You can understand, you can see, you can feel that space that I'm in and understand, oh, damn, I didn't really want that. That wasn't my goal or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not always in that regard, but if as far as deepening a relationship between two people, I know for sure that my withdrawal has probably hindered a lot of understanding that could have been had for me if I would have been able to allow someone in. Whereas I was thinking I was protecting a relationship from what can be a very sharp tongue, which can be a very dismissive me when I'm feeling like, no, that ain't what I said. And now you're trying to say what you know what I mean? Like, I know my default. So, and I recognize how that is not always conducive to a positive interaction. So I will remove me a lot of the times before I'll even approach someone else with that, because that's me-ish. You know what I'm saying? And that hasn't always worked well for me. So we're just going to pull a point off of the list. I know that one is stomping on my toes for sure.
I think so. I'm gonna say for me, I think the biggest way I avoided, I have in the past um, is I dive into work or some project. Because especially if it's a project that really excites me or that I'm really good at, because the mental, emotional charge I get from trying to figure it out or conquering this thing,
it's a rush.
Is definitely, yeah, it's a rush, but it also really makes me not want to deal with whatever the tough thing is that's happening in my relationships. So now I can ignore that for a second. I cannot think about that because all of my focus is on this thing, this goal, and I can shut that out for now.
It's justified too, because you've got a positive purpose that you're working towards. I don't have time for that. I'm focused on this. So.
Yep. And then for me, it's even worse because I can look at my I can see I can always hide behind, but I'm helping somebody. I'm trying to help people. And so because I'm helping people, it's okay that I'm not dealing with this. This can wait because I got to help them.
Yeah.
And so have had to learn, and I'm learning at times not to do that. Now, to your point about the withdrawal, let me say this. I think a good withdrawal is important. It's sometimes important. I think we have to, like you said, to your point, figure out that moment of when I'm processing what's happening with me versus, but we can't process that so much that we get to the point where we don't then come back to the whatever that issue is and address the issue, even if the issue was you. Like, even if you think, like I've said several times, I'm like, okay, I was wrong. I was tripping. I still have to go back and address that, because if we don't address it, then now that intimacy, that moment of intimacy can't be shared
between.
And I've now, I get it, but that person doesn't, and I've left them hanging. They
don't have a resolution for that feeling.
Yeah, they're just like, so okay, I guess we're done, and so they got to move on instead of me going back and saying, okay, this is what was going on. I was wrong. I did this. And I told you I told you recently the story I did. I was like, yeah, okay, that had nothing to do with you. That was on me. Sorry. Sorry about that. That wasn't you. That was me. And that just came up, and I don't know where that came from. So, which helped, so I think we have to be honest about that to go back and address it. But a good withdrawal for a second is,
y'all know I'm team timeout. I will take a time out. I need We're gonna have to revisit this in a minute because now I done got to a place that ain't even productive. So like, let's get when I start losing my train, like when everything ain't it's just doing it and we ain't even talking about what we was talking about, like the whole we ain't focused on the main thing. Now, no. Because now it's just making it worse. We're dogpiling dumb shit at this point.
See, for me, and I can't think like that. I don't function well. My thoughts don't flow like that. So I have to wait, stop. So I can, first of all, stop so I don't say nothing below the belt. 1, 2, stop because I'm going to, I can't function. I can't think. And you want me to respond. And the response you're about to get is going to be anger and not really how I feel. So let me stop. Let me think. Calm down. Now I can respond. And it could take a couple of days, depending on how angry I am.
Depends on the situation. Yeah. But and I think that that is important that you set that you have that understanding, and both people have to respect that about where you are. You know what I mean? Because there are different things, there are different triggers, there are different circumstances that create a different you that shows up. So when you recognize that you are out of body, I'm saying stuff that I'm not meaning to say, like I'm responding before I'm even hearing, you know what I mean? I'm just because that everybody gets it. I think everyone has a space to get into that. I'm saving me. Oh, we going? Oh, is this what we doing? Oh, okay. And that's not how we generally have energy for our person. We reserve all of that for people on the street. All of that anger and all that. That's why we be like, I just want somebody. I wish somebody would, because especially at this big age, the likelihood for us to even have all of that, to be able to justifiably give it to somebody that's a stranger, is rare. So when we do have these emotional moments where we finally get to get it out, it's usually with someone that we actually love a real big amount. So like time out is priority, I think, when having those types of conversations. So I'm not going to run from a withdrawal, but I'm going to I do say that I can understand where there are times where I could have leaned in before I leaned out. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? A little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I could keep going, but I won't. I'll just say I'll end this. I'll end this by saying this. I think that one of the things we have to be very aware of is that when it becomes about how well I can protect and defend myself versus how in this moment can I continue to still serve this other person. I think when we get into that space, when it becomes about me and I, and so, and not again, and then not to say that you should not protect yourself, but I do think that when the whole idea now is become about getting what I want, doing what I want, you need to submitting to what I'm saying, then now it's problematic because it's not about the relationship, it's about you.
Yeah.
I think that's when it becomes problematic.
We got to get to the solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten into an argument with my ex and got so mad I went and got in a fight with a stranger.
I can believe that, though. I can believe that.
I can believe it. I can believe it.
Yeah. Well, and that goes back to something that we mentioned last week, maybe the week before, as far as like our emotional vocabulary. We are still very much learning how to use our words in a lot of ways, in a lot of different environments. We don't always have the vocabulary for hurt or angry or frustrated, embarrassed. Those emotions that are attached to that, we don't always know how to connect them to ourselves and then to communicate them to other people in a way that they understand. And even once we get the definitions down and connect them and understand that, actually getting someone else to in real time understand that this is what that is, not whatever thing that we've made it comfortable and we've called it, but it's actually this, and I don't like this and would like it if we do it differently. Like those conversations all take a lot of time. Those transitions take a lot of time. Those are mindset shifts that have to happen. and they don't happen overnight, and rarely do they happen as a group. So like that can be difficult sometimes as we learn and start to implement new strategies for dealing with other people and how we'd like for them to deal with us. That gets difficult sometimes to teach the people who are the closest to us.
To us, yep.
You know, that's hard.
The ones who get to feel the wrath. Absolutely.
Hey.
All right, last one. All right, let's talk. Do you agree? Most people are not running away from a great partner. They are running away from the parts of themselves they are not willing to fix to deserve them. Most people are not running away from a great partner. They are running away from the parts of themselves they are not willing to fix to deserve them. So this one was actually a meme about men. It was saying most men are not running away from a great woman. They're running away from the parts of themselves they don't want to fix to deserve her. Was originally what it said. I changed it to gender neutral because I wanted to see what response we would get if we did that, and we didn't get a whole lot of response, which
we got a lot of yup, yes, 100% facts. We got a lot of
yeah, we want to talk about that. You know, I think to your point, I think this is there are some for some people this is true. I think there are some people that are true. I think that a lot of times and maybe this is or isn't the same. So you can tell me. I think what people are running away from most times is the part of relationships that are no longer about them, that don't feel good, about them being made to feel good, that are about that. It's not so much the parts of themselves they're not willing to fix, but it's the parts of the relationship that need to be fixed and the things in them that need to be fixed in order for the relationship to be fixed. Because I think that in all of us, relationships, even good relationships, require us to grow in certain areas. Specifically, our selfishness. Specifically, our there's some other things too. Like of course, I'm gonna lean into like our ability to manage money, our emotional maturity. Those things are things that are. So when we realize how emotionally immature we are, we don't want to do the work to become emotionally mature. So we run from that. So I think it's the fixing of themselves that that would make the relationship work. Not so much like, yeah, I guess I'm trying to how to word it, but do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I do. And I think you're having difficulty because the original post was so petty in a way. it was, and I'm going to say petty in a very broad sense because there's a lot of assumption being made with the way that this is written. If the only thing that you changed was like men to people and women to partner, things, things like that, or them, then this is written with a lot of assumptions being made. So it's hard to translate and shift it and make it something different when it's already leaning the way that it is. So you've done a really good job with that. I do understand what you're saying. With that understanding, I would have to say that I agree. My initial thoughts were great and fix and deserve are all words that can be, what is it, subjective, depending upon who you're talking to, you know what I mean, and who you're with. And again, like what KG is saying, how do you determine what's broken? What's to say that this thing needs to be fixed with me, or if it just doesn't need to happen with you? You know what I mean? What I'm doing could work very well for someone else. Now, the question that the caveat to that or whatever is, what is it that you're holding on to? Is it truly something that is serving you, that's pushing you forward? I was shared a video this evening by Love Dorsey. I love Love Dorsey. She's She's so dope. But the video is 3 L's, and that's the title of it. I'll share it with you after this. But one of the, I think the 3 L's that she says that's keeping folks behind. It was, one of them was lazy, one of them was low confronting, I think it was, a lack of confronting, and we're loyal to things that don't serve us. We stay loyal to things that don't serve us. So the lazy and the loyal to things that don't serve us is what kind of stands out more or less to me in this conversation and what you were trying to say. We can identify, we know something ain't working. It ain't giving what it's supposed to give. It ain't quite meshing the way it's supposed to. We know our role that we're playing in that because it just ain't quite getting there. You know what I mean? There is something that I could be doing. However, it's going to cause me to have to stop hanging with these people or stop going to do this thing. I can't show up this way at this thing anymore. I have to really shift, be focused and dedicated and disciplined to shifting how I do me. And in this age of everybody, this it is what it is. This ain't no room for this. You just, you know, we ain't even trying to have that conversation. And to the other L, the whole staying loyal to things that don't serve us anymore, that is the whole afraid to break out of the norm. We all want to be the biggest among the little. We all say we want to get big and make it out and everybody gonna follow me, but we won't get too big. We won't go too far. We won't move too much past where everybody else is, because now we done switched up. So like we stay big enough just to say big enough, and we stop. So when our relationships or a new interaction, a new opportunity presents itself, we are now questioning who, me with AAA moving to where I'm moving. Is this really what is this what they gonna think? Am I gonna be what if they,
if I don't have it, I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna do?
Now we want to double dutch the decision. Is we ain't, you know, and no, sometimes you have to really move on, cut that and take that leap and do the thing and see where you land. It's scary, it's frustrating, it's all of those things. You know what I mean? But the other side is like, oh, damn it, I made it.
Ain't so bad.
And imagine how much more beautiful relationships could be if we were all willing to go through that scary thing together and learn together. And but that's what, to your point, that's what I think this is saying. I would agree with that. We are, especially as a whole right now, we are very much double dutching the decision to move forward, and stop fussing and stop doing whatever this thing is that we're doing, deciding if we're going to literally grow up. That's what this is boiled down to me or not. We are debating if we as a community, as a culture, as people are going to grow up.
Yeah. And I think what growing up actually does look like in a fuller sense of growing up, because I think we've entered a space where it's like we want the money part of growing up, like we want money, but do we really want the responsibility of the responsibility to our community, the responsibility to our partners? Do we want to do the work that our community requires and needs, or do we just are we just saying we want more money?
Right. Because leadership looks different.
Everything about it is different. Everything is different.
Right. We want the power, the influence, the clout, all of the things that come with leadership, and don't want to do any of the things that leaders look different. No one follows the crowd because the crowd all looks and moves and has the same rules. The leader sets themselves apart. They hold themselves to a different standard, and that's what they're doing. Well, let me go try that. If we're all like, leaders have something that you aspire to be, you want to emulate, you want to mirror in yourself. There's got to be something that it can be pulled from to be able to apply, to be able to model. But if we're all doing the same thing, living under the same rules, we're all trying to be just like them and can't be too far away from the thing you're trying to correct or that
Don't
that
work.
math ain't mathing.
Don't work.
That
Don't work.
lead ain't leading. Like that's
Just
why we're doing this, because we all watching each other. That's exactly why we're doing that.
right. Yeah, I'm also and I appreciate you and KG both bringing out the idea of deserve too, because I think that's another issue is that now we're determining who deserves something based on some arbitrary things that we are, that we have that don't really, in most instances, aren't really even things of substance.
Mm-mm.
So my deserving is based on what? My character, my credit score,
Your opinion.
your opinion, my height. Like what do we what do we determining what that is. So I think I'm glad you both brought that up, because I think really what it boils down to is that we've got to consistently pursue.
It ain't, KG. It ain't.
We've got to learn to consistently. Somebody said something to me this weekend that really, it really it blessed me. I ain't it did. Somebody said to me, they said one of the things I appreciate about you is that you force us to excellence and not perfection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow.
That's true. That's truth.
Wow. Okay.
That person sees the goal. They see the root of what it is that you're doing. That is the truth.
Yeah. And I think that to me is the essence of what we should be doing. Like we should be daily pursuing what excellence looks like for us individually, what excellence looks like for us communally, what excellence looks like for us, based upon what you can do, your capacity, your giftings, your talents, who you are, pursue that.
Yep. And stop being so willing to reduce what it is that others can see for themselves.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like as soon as someone says, well, we could do better. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. Why not? Why can't we? Like, why not?
Yep.
It's a huge part of when it's time to move, like just let it happen sometimes. You don't have to go. But sometimes that nay is the thing that keeps everybody from moving. And why?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that helpful?
Mm-hmm.
Because just because they're going don't mean you have to go.
Mm-hmm.
Just go let them see. If it don't work, they'll be back. But if they come back with hey, y'all, listen, over there. Like,
yeah. But in essence, we know it happens. So you're gonna go on some people, but never. That's another story. But I think again, it comes back to we've got to stop limiting our beliefs in who we are. We got to stop being shallow in what we expect and what we want. And we have to say, like, I think there's this internal feeling too. Maybe it's just me, but there's this internal feeling that we all have that I got more in me.
Yes.
Like I think all of us like, and when we feel that, like, go with it, not in an unhealthy sense, because I know there could be some unhealthiness to that, some narcissism, some ego, some overinflated ego, like not that aspect of it, but the aspect of I'm not really bringing my best to my life and to the people around me. Mm-hmm. Go with that. Mm-hmm. And I think all the other stuff takes care of itself.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I do think that the majority of us have that not quite given everything that I could. And I think it's coupled with the stuff, not coupled because there's a whole lot of factors to this, but it is bundled with what we come into it with, just being humans and always questioning a little bit, you know what I mean? Like everybody don't have that I am great all the time, energy. And I think even the people who present that way, when all the lights go down, they still sit with themselves and have the same questions that the rest of us do.
Absolutely.
But like there's the human aspect of doubting ourselves, but then there's also a level of the way we come into things. And damn, I'm about to lose my train of thought. I'm gonna have to catch it. It's a matter of the way that we come about experiencing things together. It's like we want to start something new, and we'll see it and think to ourselves, ooh, is that for me? Because we know there's a part of our community that we know that there's been so much that we haven't had access to.
Mm-hmm.
There's an inherent knowing that we have not been given the same access, the same shot, the same look, the same chance. So there's always going to be a FOMO to us as far as opportunity, excellence is concerned. So I don't want us to, or I would hope that we would push through that initial human feeling of what more is it that I can do? And don't push through that, but don't get stuck at, well, they ain't gonna give it to us, or they ain't never gave that to us. That's not for us. This is what we do. This is ours. This is how we do it. You deserve. We're gonna talk about deserve. You deserve what happens on the other side of that push. You deserve what happens on the other side of that access being granted. You deserve whatever that is on the other side of going to get what's yours, because we know that there's been so much that has never been ever even discussed for being for us. So that in and of itself, that's in our DNA. That's science. That is something we come in here with our first holler knowing that it's something else that we ain't gonna get. Like it, before we know, we know. So we have to, especially now with all of this access, all of this education, all of this money, all of this influence, all of this power at our disposal, we have to push through this stuck spot that we're at right now, that we've allowed a lot of this to keep us stuck because it's in us. That they ain't gonna give it to us. That ain't for us. This is as good as it gets. You know, our babies only get this, and you know that we can't ever go there, and that ain't. I'm going all the places. My baby's gonna get all the things. I'm going to all of it. Okay. Tell me I can't. Why? We can talk about it, but I'm going. I'm showing up. You know what I mean? And like, you know, and what's the worst that can happen? They're gonna send me back. It's not because I'm not gonna show up.
Not going because I ain't trying.
And I'm gonna show up for me in my emotional, in my physical. You know what I mean? Like we owe it to ourselves. We don't need permission to show up for ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm glad I caught that caboose because it was on its way out, boy. I was losing that. I was like, damn it, don't do it, don't do it. It was so good. Where is it? But that's the thing. Like we deserve that. If we're gonna talk about deserve, we deserve to give ourselves that shot.
Chance. Just give yourself a chance. And I remember, and I'm done after this. I remember a couple of years ago thinking, like post-divorce, thinking like, I'm not in a position, I don't deserve a good woman right now. Like, because financially of course, because financially I'm here, this is where I live, all the financial and thinking to myself and being told too, but why not?
I remember that time. I was there.
You were.
I was a why not person.
Because I was told, like, why not? Granted, yeah, you in a place right now, but why not? And really thinking that I was doing harm to someone else because of where I was. And now that I'm not in that space anymore, I'm thinking like that just to me was dumb. That's dumb. Not that was dumb. And really, I mean, it was my pride. My pride was hurt is really what it was. And I didn't know how to express. I didn't want to put myself in a position to be exposed to someone to take advantage of my low pride at that moment. My low pride and my low self-esteem. That's really what it was.
And you are also of the spirit of, if I'm not helping, I'm harming.
Yeah, but I also and you
didn't have anything to help nobody with at that time, as far as you were concerned.
Right.
Again, your pride and all of that other stuff. You were at what you thought was, I ain't got nothing.
Right.
And everybody around you was like, bro.
which is problematic. That's what my point is. I that was problematic for me because again, things I was basing it on were so not that they're not important, but they're far down on the list
Yes.
of importance.
Yes.
And so I say that because I want to help. I want somebody else, if they hear this, to think like your person, it makes you deserve it.
Mm.
Like you being a good person to people, you being in people's corner, you willing to serve when just be a person of service makes you a person who deserves, not the car you drive. You're an adult, you need a car. Get a car.
Yes.
But if you temporarily don't have a car, it's okay. Like it doesn't mean you don't deserve to be loved well, and you don't deserve a relationship. You don't deserve like that. To me, it's just not. I would never want anyone to feel the way I felt for those years.
Come on, testimony. Come on, transition of thought. I love it. Yeah. That's good though. That's good. And true.
Yeah. I'm done. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Same.
What you got any final thoughts?
Me chasing that caboose exhausted all my little brain power I had left. I knew I needed that point. That was my final thought. Literally. That was the last one I could hold on to.
You mustered that one up, and that was it. I got you.
Listen, I had to do the powers combined, and we pushed it on out. And here we go.
Oh, good show. Good show. Good topic. This is good. We will be back next week.
Mm-hmm.
Another show, great topics. Y'all, again, you deserve it. You deserve it. Try to be excellent this week. Be excellent this week. Do the things that put you in place. For me, I would say this. I've been really doing. We're not talking about nakedness, Kyle, Wesley.
Ain't nobody said that.
But do this. I've been really focusing in lately on my disciplines. And I can say that has been helping me a lot over the last probably 3 or 4 weeks. And not just the discipline to exercise, but the disciplines to do things that would feed me to invest in myself. And so I would encourage you all to really rethink through, the things that are feeding you. Think through your disciplines, think through your schedules, think through the conversations you're having to find out, see again, are you really going after your goals, or are you sitting back waiting for life to just happen to you? Because you're never going to get where you want to get if you just sit back thinking it's going to come, because it's not. Not going to come. Good relationships are out there. Got to put in the effort. So that's all I got.
Yep.
Anything else? You good?
Be great. Be good to people. Be good to each other. Be good to you.
Yes.
And be good to each other.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what I want you to do.
I appreciate you, Q. I appreciate everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for all your wisdom. We'll be back next Tuesday for another great show. Y'all have a good night.
A good night, y'all.